I just built my favorite superhero gadgets in real life, and here's why. The one thing that all of my favorite superheroes have in common is that they actually build their own superhero gadgets. And every time I watch these movies, I think to myself, how hard is it to actually build these? So I've put together a list of my favorite superhero gadgets to see if I can actually build them in real life, starting with the Batman throwing star. This is one of Batman's most iconic superhero gadgets that he makes in a cave. Now, since I'm not a billionaire like Bruce Wayne, I need to figure out a way to create these gadgets on a budget. So for the next several days, this is going to be my Bat cave where I try to create all of these superhero gadgets. How are your arms feeling, Nick?
Great, Drew.
And luckily, technology has gotten so advanced that there's these things called 3D printers, which allow you to basically print anything your heart desires. So, I got one. Well, actually 2 of them. The only problem is I have absolutely no idea how to even use one of these. But like any good superhero, I was going to find a way to make it happen. And that's with the help with some instructions.
I'll take those.
Wait,
Thank you.
Nick, I need you to put it together. Nick! So since Nick destroyed my instructions, I found the next best thing, and that's Jared.
What's up, guys?
He knows practically everything you need to know about 3D printing, and he's gonna be helping me print off these superhero gadgets. So, pretty much, my friend just read all the directions, and we don't know how to put this thing together.
I have a problem. All right, let's do it, guys.
So Jared started setting up the 3D printer while me and Nick were, well, watching. You could have done that, right?
I could have done it, but you chose not to.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't do this.
And after just a couple of minutes,
Oh my god.
Can you 3D print another Drew Dirksen? Anyone that can like rub my feet, cook me dinner.
Can we do that?
Sky's the limit.
Let
Have
go.
one that rubs my feet too.
All right, we're good to go.
and now that the printer was set up, it was time to make this Batman throwing star. Now the way these printers work is that you find or create a design that tells the 3D printer what to print. So Jared created the design. How sick does that look?
That is amazing.
And it was time to start printing the Batman throwing star.
Can I hit print?
Yes, sir. Let's see what happens. Was that the printer that just made that noise?
I don't know.
It's like packed it.
Dude, that's so sick! Bro, look at this.
It shows the bat symbol and then how long it's gonna take.
Yo,
It says just to take 22 minutes to print.
no way.
I'm so curious.
And just like that, our first superhero gadget started printing.
Such a cool moment. This is like the first time making my own superhero gadgets.
So technically, it's making your superhero gadget.
Nick, just let me have this moment.
You're right.
Now this Batman throwing star is thankfully easy to print because it's just one piece.
Just traced out the whole design so quick.
But the rest of the superhero gadgets I build throughout this video will be a lot more difficult to make.
Could you imagine when we were kids and you think of stuff like that? Imagine you could really print something in real life like this.
Even better. We got it when we're 28.
And just as we thought everything was going perfectly,
All right, so the first print turned out like this. It didn't work. So we're gonna adjust a few things, try to print it again.
and thankfully on our second attempt, everything worked perfectly.
Yo, look at that. Dude, it looks like a real Batarang.
That's sick.
We have to test it out.
How are we gonna do that?
I got this big piece of foam here. Ow! Now this does have super sharp edges. I'm gonna try to throw this in that styrofoam there
And see if this can work just like it does in the Batman movies.
It didn't work at all. Well, it stayed intact.
How did that not break?
I honestly thought this was gonna break. This is actually way more durable than I thought it was gonna be. Here we go. And after a few more failed attempts, I figured out the correct technique. Yo!
Oh,
Can you imagine just walking up like, what's up, man? Bro, don't rob me.
Okay, this is actually sick.
that must have felt insane.
Do you wanna try it?
All right, if I make this first try, I'm Batman and you're Robin.
No shot that you get that. No way, bro.
Pleasure to meet you, Robin.
Thanks, man.
I'm shocked how well this thing worked, but this next superhero gadget is gonna be even crazier.
Now, the next superhero gadget I want to try to build is the iconic Iron Man helmet. Tony Stark literally builds this Iron Man suit from scratch. So let's see how it'll look if I print it from scratch. So thankfully, before Jared left, he gave me the design, so all I have to do is plug this into the computer and wait for it to print. And if all goes well, it should print just fine. Except I very quickly realized it did not go well.
All right, well, the first Iron Man mask attempt was a complete fail, so now I'm gonna try to print it again.
Now, the only problem with trying to print the Iron Man helmet is that I can't print print it all at once, meaning it'll take much longer with much more room for error if I mess up, which I did. Again.
No. Why does it just keep turning into spaghetti? This won't work. So I've realized that probably starting with the mask is not the best idea. So the first thing I'm gonna do is print off some of the smaller pieces like the ears and the chin strap for the Iron Man helmet. All right. We got a lot of printing to do.
And thankfully, on our third attempt, everything looked just like it was working perfectly.
Now, while I attempt to print that Iron Man mask, I'm also gonna put together another Bambu printer to print a mystery superhero gadget.
Now, throughout this video, I've been using the Bambu Lab A1 combo, which has a great entry-level price, high-end print quality, and is the only mature multicolor solution, and it allows you to print in more than one color, and it delivers the best quality on the market. There is literally only a few 3D printers out there offering this feature, which really makes this printer stand out.
Now, thankfully, Nick didn't throw away these All right, I'm gonna try to put this one together too.
With automatic calibration, smart monitoring, and one-click printing from Maker World, even beginners like myself can easily print anything from a Batman throwing star to hopefully this mystery superhero gadget, which you'll see at the end of the video. So comment down below what you think it might be.
All right, so now I'm gonna start uploading the mystery superhero gadget. Let's see if this works. I sent it to the wrong printer.
One of my favorite features about the A1 combo is its active flow control and vibration compression that ensures high-end print quality and speed. So in short, it prints fast and has good quality. So if you want to print off your own superhero gadgets or whatever your heart desires, check out the Bambu Lab A1 combo 3D printer with the link at the top of my description.
All right, so I did another print and this is definitely way closer and that will definitely fit my face. Now I need to take it from this little 2D idea and make it a real 3D mask.
So while my 3D mask was getting printed, I decided to watch the Iron Man movie. That way I could get inspired on how to use my 3D printed mask once it printed. And as soon as the movie finished,
Bro, I think I actually did it.
Bro, that looks insane.
so I spent the next 30 minutes connecting all the pieces together, and just like that,
Should I try it on?
Try it on.
I hope it doesn't fall apart.
bro, how cool is this?
Bro, you look like Iron Man.
Bro, it feels so sick. This must be what Tony Stark felt like when he built his.
Jarvis, open mask.
I didn't get that far ahead, so I have to manually open it.
Can I try it?
Just be very careful.
Yo. Bro, I used to read the Iron Man comics like every day after school. These masks are supposed to be indestructible.
We should test out the mask and see if it can block anything like a real Iron Man mask.
Great idea, let's do it.
Give me the mask.
No. Level 1.
Ow! You didn't even aim for the mask!
All right.
Oh my god, that was terrifying. Alright, so the mask survived level 1.
Level 2.
Oh! This thing's actually holding up way better than I thought.
Level 3.
What? Ah! Okay! Okay! Ow! Okay, it works! Now, can this thing block real bullets like in the movies? No, but it can block these little foam bullets. So I would say it's a success. Ow! Okay. Now, as much as I was enjoying my new Iron Man helmet, it was time to move on to a superhero gadget I have always dreamt of building, and that is a real Spiderman Web Shooter. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was lucky enough to be able to shoot webs out of his wrist, but Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland had to build their own spider webs by themselves. And as you guys know, for the last several years, it has been my dream to become Spider-Man in real life. So this is something I'm really looking forward to make. Now, there's 3 things that this web shooter must have in order to be classified as a real web shooter. It has to attach to my wrist, it must shoot, and lastly, it must stick to something. Now, we need to make sure this web shooter would actually fit my wrist. So to do that, the first thing we needed to do was scan my arm.
This way, when we print off the web slinger, it'll fit perfectly to my wrist. Dude, that's wild. Dude, it's literally getting the veins in my hand.
That's crazy, that's just my arm.
So now that we have my arm, we just print off the web slinger to fit around it. That's so cool. All right, while this thing is printing off, I'm gonna go get a bunch of supplies so I can actually make this web shooter shoot.
So I spent the next hour working on the shooting mechanism, which consisted of springs, magnets, and suction cups to be able to make it stick to things. And right after I was done, so was the 3D printed web shooter.
All right, so it just got done printing and dude, look at that.
Bro, that's crazy, the detail on that.
So this would go like on my wrist like that, and then I would have something like right here and you'd be able to spray it and a web would go out. That's crazy. So now this will go in here and it should Oh! This thing's actually working. Now, considering the spring doesn't fit at all on top of this thing, I'm gonna try to print a new design where the spring can actually fit inside of this.
Now, while this web shooter is printing, my other Bambu printer is also printing the mystery superhero gadget that I'll be revealing at the end of the video. But until then, thankfully the web shooter was complete.
Look at that though. I mean, that would like sit there on your wrist. Doesn't that look like a real web slinger?
Yeah.
So I got the web shooter, a spring, and this little piece attached here. Hopefully I should be able to pull this and it will shoot out like a web. Oh, come on.
I literally spent the next hour trying to figure out what the problem was, but I could not figure it out.
I thought I had it.
So while I was trying to figure out how to make this thing work, I started printing one last design that would hopefully work. And after a couple of hours, my last hope for a design finished printing.
Okay. Look at that.
Bro, that's sick.
That is sweet. And that'll
Logo
go
on there. Whoa.
right over my hand. And then I got like these little pieces that will build out the inside. It should work just right there on my wrist. So now I'll be able to put like the spring inside and this.
Bro.
Just breaks.
You should unbutter your fingers before.
I got some of these old straps here. So then I'll be able to put them around my wrist to hold this thing together. All right. Now I just gotta build it.
So I started assembling all the pieces together, and I also added a mechanism that would make the web retract.
So I got the web out. We should. Look at that. All right, now let's test this whole thing out. But to do that, I think an outfit change is required.
So after so many failed attempts, it was finally time to test if this 3D printed web shooter even worked. And just like that, this thing worked perfectly. The webs stick to the glass every single time, and it retracted back into the web shooter perfectly.
Not bad at all.
Wow.
Dude, this thing's actually sick.
Bro.
Bro, say we're hungry.
I'm hungry.
We're gonna starve. So this is pretty cool, this little suction cup. But what if it was a real web? I made this little web attachment.
Is it sticky like web?
I just broke it.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I just printed it off.
No
So
way.
now, hopefully, I should be able to shoot this thing and knock this cup off.
Oh, that is cool. So after successfully creating 3 of my favorite superhero gadgets, it was finally time to reveal the mystery superhero gadget I printed.
So I told you guys to comment down below throughout the video what you thought the mystery superhero item was. The last one printed off. Check this out.
What is that?
Let me show you. Wolverine claws.
What?
Yeah, bro, aren't these sick?
Those are so cool. Why are you missing one on that hand?
I broke one when I was trying to print it off. Dude, I literally feel like Wolverine with these.
If you guys enjoyed this video, click here and watch another. While you do that, I'm gonna play with all my superhero gadgets.